KPRC2. This is Houston Newsmakers with Cambrell Marshall.
It was a very special moment on April 5th. Newly sworn in Houston Police Chief Troy Fenner having his badge pinned on by his son Wyatt. Houston's hometown son being pinned by his own son. A fitting way to start the next step in a more than 30-year career. Chief Fenner joins me this morning for his first interview as Chief of Houston on Houston Newsmakers. Good morning, Chief. Good to see you. Has the title sunk in yet, or is this something you've really been preparing for quite some time?
I don't think you prepare for it. And first of all, let me say what a pleasure it is to be on your show. So much respect for you over the last 21 years, you in our city, and you're officially a Houstonian. So thank you so much. But I know it's a lot less sleep. And that's for sure.
Well, you've been used to that in a way. So let me ask you a few things. So the police have been in the headlines a lot recently, some of them for negative things. Obviously, the Chauvin guilty verdict this past week created a sigh of relief across many areas of the country. And in the Houston community, which also is the home of the man Chauvin killed, George Floyd, at almost the exact same time, demonstrations started in Columbus, Ohio, after a police officer shot and killed a teenage girl as she appeared to attack another girl with a knife. What are the challenges for all the police departments, in Houston as well, in particular, to deepen relationships in those communities that you serve?
Well, you have to build that trust at the same time, police. The challenges are so much crime right now in major cities, and you have to fight that crime and try to drive down those numbers, but you have to build trust in terms of officers using force or officer-involved shootings and preventing that. We just have to make sure that we're de-escalating every point that we can. A lot of people don't talk about the actions leading up to shootings and the training that we go through. We got to look at everything that we can, slow it down. Officers, when they can use cover, use cover. A lot of times when there's an officer-involved shooting, when you critically look at it, if the officers slow down a little bit, but Cambrell, I want to say this too. I'm not here to blame anybody, but it is a two-way street. Our citizens have to do a little bit better as well, and sit down and talk. Understand the challenges of community, understand those challenges that the officers face, sit down and talk and make our city safer. But one thing, in our training and in our philosophies and our policies, we have to make sure that sanctity of life is the most important thing. And we have to police in a way where everybody goes home, not only the officer, but the citizens as well. Our training, anytime there's an officer-involved shooting or a critical incident where somebody is killed or seriously injured, we really have to take a critical look at that and what can we learn from it? Mm-hmm. You know, what did we do wrong? What did we do right? And you got to look at those incidents individually and judge it on its own merits. So that's a big thing. I'm going to be out at our academy more. I want to talk to our training academy, see exactly what we're training, get with our command staffs, and make sure that we're using the best practices around the nation. And anytime that we have to adjust policy and training, that's what we're going to do.
So you bring that up. You're a product of a Fifth Ward, Hiram Clark, Madison High School. What made you decide to become a police officer, and what are you planning on telling those young people who are going to be in the academies and those who aren't about why they should become cops?
Well, I certainly wasn't a kid that was around playing with police cars and saying, you know, at a young age, I wanted to be a police officer. I was an athlete at Madison and a pretty decent student. So I didn't go into college and say, well, hey, I'm going to be a police officer. But I took a serial murder class early on, and it really piqued my interest. And I think that's where it started. But to those who are thinking or even not thinking about being a police officer, what an honorable career. You can do so much good. And I know it's a lot of negative out there, but the truth is most officers come to work every day. And when people are running away from danger, they run into it. But this is what people have to understand. When you look at TV and social media, sometimes you may think that most police officers get in shootings all the time. the fact of the matter is most police officers work 30 years, 25 years, and never shoot anybody. So we have to put things in perspective. Now, there's work to be done in terms of us, police shooting unarmed individuals of color. That we can't hide from that. We got to address that. So, but it's such a great career, and I just wish more people would really consider it. And that's something that I want to do. I want to get out there in the community and let the young men and young women know in Houston, you know what? I came up just like you did. Mm-hmm. And look, thanks be to God. Look where I'm at right now. And it's because the support I had, the great training I've had, and also the great citizens. And I don't want to leave out my family, my mother and my father and all my relatives, everybody that was involved in developing Troy Finner. I just want to say a big thanks. School teachers, coaches, everybody.
Well, I appreciate that. And you just talked about something very, very important about changing the dynamic, if you will. You were sworn in on April 5th. At that time, Houston already had 103 homicides. That's a 37% increase from last year. Since then, there have been almost 30 more. That clearly has to be one of the top issues. And that's going to be dealing with numbers that won't lie. So the challenge of bringing that down, we got about a minute left. If you can give me a little bit about what you think is going to have to take to go ahead and get those numbers down.
Well, first of all, it's not just a police issue. Everybody's going to have to get in the fight. I'm going to need citizens to step up and turn people in, be good witnesses, have enough courage to come to us and enough respect and trust in us, come to us and report the crime. But from our standpoint, we really have to focus on those individuals who are really pulling triggers and shooting people and killing people. Laser focus on them, laser focus on some of those locations, because Cambrell, you know it for yourself, the great majority of people are great, hardworking, proud people. It's a small number of those individuals, and we got to bring our criminal justice system together. I've been having those meetings that I talked about. We shouldn't be throwing stones at one another. We should be saying, well, look, how can we help the judges? How can I help the DA? How can we work together as a true team? But another big factor that people forget about, nobody ordered up Hurricane Harvey. That shut down our court systems, okay? And then the pandemic came. So there's a huge backlog of court cases and trials that we have a whole lot of violent criminals out there that should be in jail right now. So we got to really work together as a community, as a criminal justice system to say, hey, look, this is how we're going to get this thing rolling back in the right direction.
We're going to continue our conversation. I want to thank you for being here this morning. Thank you for being willing to stick around and have more of a conversation on Houston Newsmakers Extra. And you can find the rest of that conversation on the Newsmakers page on click2houston.com. Thank you, Chief. Just ahead, the challenge of increasing health care in our region and the role many agencies hope Medicaid will play in making that happen when Houston Newsmakers continues.